Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to rank all the brand new watches that Rolex released during Watches and Wonders 2025. So grab a coffee and enjoy the video. This year Rolex brought a lot of new releases to the market, and the highlight for sure is the brand new model which is called the Land Dweller. 3 versions are released, one in steel, rose gold and one in platinum, and already there's a lot of hype around this model in the watch collectors community. But besides the brand new Land Dweller that really is an outstanding release with so much innovation, Rolex brought us a lot of other super cool models this year. So for that I created this tier maker with the different categories from Grail to Nope. So what are the categories? Grail category is a watch that will be super hard to get, and probably only 0.01% of all the clients of each authorized dealer might have the chance to purchase such a watch. Then we have the Fire category, which are super nice new releases, like they definitely hit the taste, I would say, of most watch collectors. They have superb watchmaking, super designs, and are still super hard to get from the authorized dealer, as there will be such a high demand for them. Next we have the super releases. So these are still hard to get watches, but there is probably a chance even for only, let's say, regular customers of the authorized dealer to grab 1 or 2 of these pieces, and with a bit of a wait time and some purchase history, they should be possible to collect from the stores. Next we have the would buy category, means these are watches I would buy if I can see them in the display, for example, but I'm not particularly hunting for them, and I think overall the demand for them will be quite good, but not too crazy that even maybe new customers could buy such a watch. Then we have the okay-ish category. These are watches that are still cool, but I would probably not buy them even if I could see them in front of me in the display. Those watches were probably a good start piece for someone who didn't buy anything from Rolex before to start a relationship with their authorized dealer, and those are also watches I would still advise my friends to buy them in case they like the design. And then we have the Nope category. These are watches I would not buy for myself, and I would usually not advise my friends to buy those watches, either because they're maybe too blingy, too flashy, or whatever, or maybe just outpriced for me personally. But yeah, overall these categories of course only represent my own and honest opinion, and I'm happy to see the conversation in the comments down below if you agree on my ranking or what you would rank differently. First we have the new Oyster perpetuals in 28mm, and as you know, the Oyster perpetual became one of the hardest watch to get in the recent years, basically since the Stellar dials with those pastel colors were released. Now we have a few new colors and actually quite a wide range of new Oyster perpetual, which is super nice. The new 28mm will start at $5,650 without the tax, and I think it should be pretty much the same price in all the countries all around the world. So let's start with the first piece, which is this purple or lavender dial, and I think it's a actually quite cool color. Again, it falls into this pastel color theme. It's something new, so I would say this is a cool release, as it's in 28mm, and usually people try to look for the bigger watches. So this is more of a ladies piece. I think it shouldn't be too hard to get since there's not too much demand for the 28mm. So I would put it in the would buy category. As said, will be a nice version for the lady. Same for the pistachio dial, the yellow dial, the pink dial, and I guess the black and blue, which are by the way new dials, so we don't have this sunburst finish anymore, should be a bit easier to get, so I would put them into the okayish category. Next we have one size bigger, which is the 31mm. Again, we have all the same colors, but of course the 31mm is the favorite size of most ladies and women. Basically even a 31mm Datejust is nowadays hard to get from the authorized dealers, so I guess it will exactly be the same or even more tough to get those 31mm Oyster perpetuals. These come at $5,800 like this purple dial, so I would put them, since the size is a lot more wearable and I think especially for those colorful dials, a bit bigger dial will work better compared to the 28. I would put them into the super category. Yes, the pistachio one as well, the beige yellow dial as well, pink dial as well, actually the one my girlfriend loves so much. So I'll probably now, as the list might open again for the watch, try to add her name for one of those pink dials. So I'll put it also in the super, and then the black and blue 31mm I will also put in the okay-ish category. And I said all those different dial colors will cost the same price of $5,800 US. Next we have the 34mm, so I will put them as well into the super category, and these 34 millimeters come at $5,900 US. And the pink one, and then again we have the black and blue, which I think, as they're a bit more boring colors, a bit more standard colors, and there's so many watches with black and blue dials out there, that those black and blue will just fall into the okayish category again. Then we go again one size bigger, so you see there's really a huge amount of new Oyster perpetuals, and these are now the 36 millimeters, like this 36 millimeters purple dial. Again, the price goes up a little bit by $300. Now the 36mm Oyster perpetual will come at $6,200 US, and my personal favorite is the 36 millimeters. It's definitely a unisex size, so for men and women, so there will be a very high demand. So I would put the new dial colors like the purple, the pistachio and the yellowish one into the fire category for sure. Will be already very hard to get those in that size. And the black and blue, again, I will rank in the okayish category. Next, we have the biggest size of the Oyster perpetual, and here these can be sometimes too big for certain wrist sizes, like for my 6.5 inch, usually these are a bit too big. We have a new silver dial reference in 41 millimeters, and the 41 now comes at $6,500 US, so again $300 more compared to the 36. And where would I rank them? I guess these will be maybe some of the easiest ones to get. I guess the silver dial will fall into the nope category. I still think it's a good watch, but let's say it's the easiest one to get. I think this could be the first one you might find in the display. Then we have the green stellar dial. It's still a very hard watch to get, but maybe with the new dial colors it might become a bit easier. Put it in the super category. Next, the pistachio dial, fire category for sure. Then we have the yellowish dial, also fire. Then we have the black dial, 41, I would put also into the nope. I guess I even prefer the silver dial over it, but with such a big diameter, the black dial can sometimes be a bit better. And then the blue 41mm I will also put. I guess this is still maybe a bit harder to get probably than the black and silver, so I'll put it in the okayish category. And with that, we have all the Oyster perpetuals ranked, so you see there's a massive amount of them, all different sizes from 28 to 41mm, and especially these new dial colors, purple, green, yellow, will be probably very hard to get in the beginning at least. Next, we have a Deep Sea Challenge 50 millimeters titanium watch. This one comes at $27,300 US. Not really the watch for me, but probably Rolex will produce a mini amount of them, that these are really becoming kind of collectible watches. Maybe you could put it in a nice presentation box on your desk. And I even think the last Deep Sea was very hard to get, so where would I put it? Maybe, as it's quite a collectible Rolex watch with a very small audience, I'll put it in the would buy category. Now we come to the Daytonas, and as said, besides the new Land Dweller, there were really super cool new releases, which all, like before, they would basically all nearly be grail watches, but now, especially on the Daytona, there's something really super exciting coming back. So, but let's start first with the full rose gold version, which comes with rose gold case, rose gold bezel, and rose gold bracelet. So it's one of the more expensive Daytonas, and this one with the chocolate dial will cost $50,500 US dollars. I guess it might be one of the easier new Daytonas to get. I personally don't like the ones with full gold bracelet and full gold bezel so much. I usually prefer the Oyster straps over it, so I would put this one either okayish or would buy. Let's consider I couldn't buy any other Daytona, I would definitely buy this one. If there would be an option for me to take any other Daytona, I would opt for a different model. So that's why I will put this one only in the okayish category. And don't get me wrong, it's definitely an awesome piece, a great watch, and still super hard to get. But just because I would prefer basically any other Daytona, I will put it in the okayish category. Next we have the full yellow gold bracelet, case and bezel Daytona with a new green sunburst dial, and this for sure will be a super hard Daytona to get. It reminds us of the old John Mayer Daytona, but looks even better. And if you remember, at the peak time, the John Mayer was trading, I think, 2 to 3 times its retail price in the second-hand market, so probably many people will want to order this piece in the hope that it might repeat the success we had of the recent John Mayer Daytona. I like it. I still love other models more, but I will put this one in the fire category. I will personally not go for it since it's quite expensive, and again, I like other models more, but I'm sure most people will love this piece and will try to get it, and Rolex will only produce very, very small quantities of it. And on top, consider at 47,000 US dollars, this is actually nearly or exactly $2,500 less than the rose gold one, so quite substantial price difference in between. Yeah, so this is definitely a fire watch. Next we have the white gold with blue dial, also something that reminds us of the past. I guess this one, since it's a lot less shiny, it looks more like the steel version, has a more sporty dial compared to the other models. Will be somewhere in between the yellow gold and the rose gold. It comes actually at the same price like the rose gold for 50,500 US dollars. So where would I put it? Either super or would buy. Hard to say. I think I'll put it in the would buy category. There's still other models that might be more in demand, and I would choose over this one. Next we have the chocolate dial we already know from the full gold version. Now with the Oyster Flex strap or bracelet and the ceramic bezel. And this watch comes at 38,100 US dollars, so substantially cheaper than the full gold versions, but of course you get a lot less gold since it comes on a rubber strap or a bracelet, let's say, with the titanium inlay. And this one I think still will be hard to get since it's a new Daytona and the Oyster Flex are usually high in demand, so I'll put it into the super category. Next we have this Tiffany dial, and this is really dividing opinions. Some people, or most people, what I heard so far, they don't really like it, and I agree. I think the current Pikachu, for example, or Ghost, they both look better. They're more harmonious with the case and the dial. Still, there will be a few people who definitely love it, and I guess it will be, because it's so different compared to any other Daytona that we had, a very hard piece to get, so I will put it also into the fire category. I still think the John Mayer, the new John Mayer, if we call it like that, will be more tough to get, harder to get, selling at the higher price premium, but again, also this Tiffany dial will be a tough one to get. And now we come to the king of the Daytona, so which is really, if I think about the meteorite dial Daytonas, it is so hard to come by. I basically know only one person of everyone I met who likes watches that got one of these watches allocated from an AD, and he had a massive spend history of maybe 5 to 10 million Swiss francs, somewhere probably in that category, and he got it allocated, which was definitely outstanding. So where will I rank it? It's easy to say. It definitely falls into the Grail watch category. Again, I think this meteorite dial Daytona is much harder than any other watch we are discussing today. And this meteorite dial, rose gold, will come at 42,500 US dollars. Then we have it in yellow gold, which is a bit cheaper at 40,800. And of course the yellow gold, again, also grail watch category. I guess yellow gold is maybe a bit higher in demand than the rose gold. And then the last one is the white gold, kind of looking a bit similar to the Ghost, but is so much cooler with the meteorite dial. And I think this is the one that most people want from the meteorite dial. But again, all meteorite dials are just so super hard to get. It's hard to even describe it how hard they are to get, that they all fall into the grail watch category. And if you have ever seen one of these meteorite dials in real, Rolex really does an outstanding job with the meteorite dials. In my view, they look much better than the meteorite dials of any other brand. They have so much more texture, are so much more refined and so unique also, each in their own way, that it's just a dream to get one day a meteorite dial Daytona from Rolex. So also this one comes at the same price like the rose gold at 42,500 and falls into the grail watch category. Next we have something which I think is really cool, but I'm not so sure yet how the majority of people will see it. And these are the Tiger Iron dials on the new GMT-master 2. First we have the rose gold on Oyster bracelet, which will set you back 49,400 US dollars. And the color combination of the Tiger Iron dial with the rose gold looks of course super cool. It's an expensive watch, so where would I put it? Either super or would buy, but yeah, definitely since it's such a unique dial, and Rolex will produce for sure very few of them, and I guess in the production these Tiger Iron dials are very difficult to produce since they can easily break and so on. It's a watch that we will not see much in the market, and anyone who can grab one will say, wow, this is a really unique and rare watch. So I'll put it into the fire category as well. And next we have the one that I personally like even more, which is the Jubilee yellow gold version. And it's actually a bit cheaper since yellow gold usually sells for less at Rolex than rose gold or white gold. So this one comes at 47,500 US dollars. Also falls into the fire category and would be my choice of the two new GMT Masters in gold. And then we have also one more in white gold, which is kind of an anniversary edition of the GMT. It's the same design like we know already from the Lefty Sprite, just this time with a color dial which goes in line to the other precious metal GMTs. Like, you know, the Pepsi in white gold has a blue dial while the steel version has a black dial. So also here the white gold version of the Lefty has a green dial while the steel version has a black dial. I think for the initial maybe 1 or 2 years this watch will be very hard to get. People will want it, but over the long run the hype will die down. Then you can probably grab it then below retail, same like the white gold Pepsi, which is also selling, I guess, at retail or a little bit below retail right now. So by that time it will become much easier to get. So where would I put it? I would put it into the okayish category. Next we have the highlight of this year's watches and wonders for sure, which is the brand new Rolex model, the Land Dweller. And as you know, the Land Dweller was released in 36 and 40mm case sizes and in 3 different materials, one in steel with a white dial, one in rose gold with a white dial, and one in platinum with an ice blue dial. So starting first with the steel version in 36mm, which is a great unisex size. I guess it will be still a hard watch to get. As said, men with smaller wrist sizes will probably go for this version, and since it's an integrated steel sports watch, it probably might wear even bigger than the normal 36mm Datejust, but we will see for sure when we can try it on the wrist. I think it will be very hard to get. I think any Land Dweller in steel will be very hard to get for the beginning at least. So I'll put it into the super category because probably most people will prefer the 40mm in steel. As still maybe for ladies they might prefer something more colorful or diamonds or anything like that. But I guess every one of my friends will go for the 40mm steel, or some might go for the platinum. So I will put the 40mm Land Dweller steel with white gold bezel into the fire category. And this 36, by the way, will start at $13,900. 40 millimeters version will come at $14,900. So still both watches for Rolex standards are quite affordable. Brand new model, massive innovation, looks really good. So there will be a crazy high demand for both of them. And then we have the 36 millimeters rose gold. I personally think really cool watch, because with a smaller watch you can probably pull it off, a full gold version, and this watch comes at $42,100. Guess also very hard to get initially as a super watch. And then we have the 36 millimeters with diamonds, which will be already a lot less in demand for sure, because the price point is so much higher at $88,300. So only very few people will be able to obviously afford such a watch and want to buy such a watch. So that's why I will put this into the sorry to do it, but I really put it into the nope category. I guess even though it's a brand new model, it might be quite easy to get and not many people will go for it, and I would definitely not buy such an expensive watch because I just cannot afford it. And then we have the rose gold in 40 millimeters. If you want to pull off something with a lot of bling and you want to spend $63,500, okayish watch, or would buy probably into the, or let's put it into the super category. I mean, my personal opinion, I would go rather for the 36 if it's a full rose gold case, but people with bigger wrists, they might go for the 40 millimeters, and maybe overall even the 40 millimeters, I think similar to the Day-Date, will be more in demand. And then 40 millimeters with the diamonds bezel, again into the nope category, comes at a massive price at $103,200. Very expensive watch. Very few people will only like to buy such an expensive watch, and then there's so many other alternatives that probably this will also be quite easy to get. And then we have the platinum 36mm with the ice blue dial, and those platinum watches are always super hard to get, and I think the ice blue platinum dial looks definitely the best of all those new Land Dwellers. So I would already put it in the fire category. I would definitely go for this watch. Not the cheapest watch, to be honest. The price point of $59,200 is a bit heavy, but again, you get a full platinum Rolex, brand new model, ice blue dial, looks amazing. Then there's of course also a diamonds version of it, and some people, they actually like the diamonds platinum watches more, some like the normal ones more. I think the fluted bezels look better, but the diamonds version are usually a bit more rare. So I would put this one into the would buy category. It comes also at a heavy price point of $94,900. And next we will have the 40 millimeters platinum, maybe the best looking Land Dweller of them all. For sure will be very hard to get. Definitely a fire category watch, but maybe even a grail watch. I think maybe for the next 2-3 years this might be a grail watch. And only very few people will get it. There will be a crazy high demand for it. So I'll put it into the... No, I'll put it in the fire category. There's so very few models that can match a meteorite dial Daytona that again, even this watch falls into the fire category only. And don't get me wrong, fire is still very hard to get. Only the top of the top clients will get these watches from the AD. They all look amazing, outstanding, unique, but a meteorite dial Daytona is just something else. And yeah, this 40mm platinum comes at $103,200. Very expensive, but the most expensive release of all the new Rolex watches is actually this 40 millimeters Land Dweller with diamonds on the dial, on the bezel, and this one comes at $116,900 and is by that the most expensive new release of Watches and Wonders 2025 by Rolex. Where would I put this? Again, there will be high demand, very limited production. I'll also put it in the fire category. And by that, I think I need to correct myself. I'll put the diamonds Land Dweller 36 into the super category. I think only a would buy for a platinum watch with an ice blue dial is not justified. So still at least a super watch. Now we have a few more day dates. 36 millimeters, olive green dial, full rose gold, fluted bezel, very nice new release, comes at $42,300. Maybe would be one of my personal favorite day dates that are out there. So I'll put it in the would buy category. I love it, but maybe most people will go for the 40 mm, which might be still more in demand, and I want to keep it a bit let's say neutral, this list, not too much only my own opinion. I would put it in the super for me personally only, but reflecting both sides, my opinion and a bit the market also, I put it in the would buy. And then next we have a day date with a diamonds bezel, round cut. So this one comes at a heavy price point of $58,700. I would put this in the nope category. Next we have a day date with diamonds on the bracelet and diamonds on the bezel, so even more diamonds, and I'll put it also into the nope category. And this watch comes at $113,800. And then we have another day date 36 with baguette cut diamonds in the bezel, which comes at $84,000. And again, I'll also put it in the nope category. Now a few more Datejust 31, and here we actually have 3 different versions that were released. One is the one in yellow gold with the brand new red dial, which has kind of a fumé effect. It's a cool watch, super expensive. So again, it's called a Datejust, but it comes on a presidential bracelet in full gold. So very expensive. I'll put it into the nope category. Sorry to say, but it's really not for me. Maybe later the taste will change, and usually these are the easiest Rolex watches to get. You can still in current days find them in the display, as I guess they're very hard to move. So I put all 3 of them into the nope category. Now more interesting again, we have a brand new green dial Sky Dweller on Oyster Flex, and this new Sky Dweller yellow gold Oyster Flex starts at $45,800 US. I think hard to get watch, cool watch. I like it personally. I like those green dials. Maybe in the beginning will be a bit even underrated. Let's say it will be hard to get, but still underrated. Once such a watch is discontinued, I guess it will really skyrocket and people will miss it. So I'll put it into the super category on Oyster Flex, and the one in full gold on Oyster bracelet, which comes for $53,400. I would put it in the okayish category. And the one on Jubilee, I would probably still buy it because again, I'm such a big fan of the Jubilee bracelet. I will put it in the would buy category. Yeah, and the Jubilee version comes at $54,600 US. So now only 2 watches left. Not so many people actually like the 1908. I'm a huge fan of the one, especially the white dial. Looks great. It's always the question for any watch collector: should you buy a Rolex 1908 or put a bit more money on top and go for a Patek Philippe Calatrava? I'm neutral there. I decided to go for the Calatrava, but I can also congratulate everyone who goes for the 1908. I think it's an awesome, super beautiful watch. Now on this new bracelet looks even better. My personal favorite is again the white dial, so I'll put the black dial into the okayish category, and the white dial I'll put into the would buy. Yes, into the would buy category. Again, I would probably put it for me personally in the super category. The market would put it probably in the okayish category. So that's why I'll put it into the would buy category. And with that, we ranked all the brand new releases of Rolex from Watches and Wonders 2025. I think super cool new lineup that we got here. Pretty much every single piece of these watches is a dream watch. Don't get me wrong if I put something into the nope category. It's just not for me, or let's say fewer people like those watches or can afford those watches since they come at very high price points. But overall, I cannot remember that we ever had such a nice release from Rolex with so many awesome looking watches, really what people want, really reflects what we were asking for, even bringing back the meteorite dial Daytonas, what a cool move. And then on top having a brand new model, the Land Dweller, with so much innovation, and finally an integrated bracelet design watch from Rolex. What could you ask for more? Drop me a comment with your opinion. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What is your personal highlight? What are you going to buy? What would you love to buy? Drop a comment down below. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one. Bye bye.